Can you hear me now? Oh, okay, good. Thank you so much. Hi, Mark. Okay, so I'm gonna try to. Okay, good. Hi, Jonathan. All right, I'm gonna try to go get this package and see if it'll just switch to my cell data without cutting you guys off. I will probably jump back on. If it cuts off, I'll just, come back on. Let's see what happens. I don't know if I'll really be able to see you guys. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Good morning, boy. I'm one of those people that never cries, you guys. I never fucking cry. Ever. Even if I'm crying, which is rarely. Like, when I was dating or whatever, if maybe for whatever weird reason I might cry or something. If someone looks at me or comes in the room or whatever, I immediately stop. Like, I can't cry in front of people. I guess I could just wait till I get back in the house. But I'm just not feeling good today. And I never get like this. This isn't me. Like, fuck. Sorry. And I just wanted to come on, and I've seen other live streamers who are like, there's this one girl, she lives in perpetual depression and she's always crying on her live streams. And I'm like, that's unattractive. And I'm one of those people, everybody always thinks everything's fine because I don't want to talk about, like, I don't even want to think about, like, I'm really good at not thinking about the things that are wrong in my life. And Mark, if people come on, like, and just start chatting and saying shit, don't worry about it. Just let them. They'll fall off after, like, oh shit, this better be open. Oh, it's open. Okay, so I've got to go to a different app real quick and open. See, I've got to get, I'm back. So where's 90? Here it is. Sorry, was that loud? Okay, so, I thought, maybe I should do the live for the car because I just kind of feel like getting it out. And I guess this is why people go to therapy. But it's not like, it's not like I'm just, randomly depressed or something like that. It's that I never talk about the struggles in my life. And I don't want to talk about the struggles in my life. But today I can't really come on and do a baby. Sorry. So people have been asking me, like, what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? Saying, I don't really know. I don't really know. What do you do for a living? Saying, I don't really know. I don't really know. Because I'm not making a living. Because I'm not making a living. I'm not making a living. And I don't really want to make a fucking living. I'm supposed to be like someone's wife. And, man, and fucking independent. I'm not. And I'm a really good caretaker. I was just watching a video about a guy who took Lady Phoenix, girl, I'm on a live. I can't answer the phone. So, he's talking about he took care of his best friend and his wife at home. he and his wife had 2 boys, and they had boys. Hold on. Okay, are you still there? Let me roll the windows down. And enough that it's gonna, uh-oh. No access key detected. All right, well, whatever. So, anyway, this guy, I can't read your comments, you guys, but I can see that you're on. Anyway, so this guy's talking about how he was a nurse, a hospice nurse, I guess. And then he took care of his best friend and his wife while they were dying in his own home. He had 2 little boys, 7 and 9 years old. And his best friend died, then his wife died, and then 3 months later, his boys were run over by a car in their own front yard. And he shut himself in his house for a whole year, painted the windows, the whole deal, right? So I'm watching this, and I just started getting really emotional. And I never see this. I don't do this. But I think that those times when like a little crack is open where I can let it out, I need to, because I just don't ever do this. And I think people who can cry are probably, healthier. And you know, it's just been really, really hard. I told you guys I had a car service, and it used to do really well until about 2.5 years ago, and it's just been dwindling and dwindling. And when I first moved to where I am now, I moved here because we were really busy here and didn't have any good full-time drivers. So I'm like, you know, I got this. And the winter that I moved here, we got here in late November. And then we got hit with all these storms. So I was super, super busy. I was driving so much and making a lot of money, and I was able to support myself. And that's something that's only been like, you know, I've only been able to support myself in my adulthood just like a few years, literally. My mom has helped me my whole goddamn life. And it's so embarrassing, and I feel so guilty because I don't want to take her money or anybody's money. I want my own, right? But I can't seem to make it fucking work. And so that I sit here and I'm like, okay, well, first of all, there is YouTube. I can do a YouTube channel and eventually monetize that, right? But then I'm like, okay, I got a cybersecurity certificate. And then, you know, you need like a year of experience just for a fucking entry level. Entry level is supposed to be where you get your experience. So that was frustrating. And of course, the way I did it is I did a 4-month certificate in 2 weeks because I can do that. You know, some people like they work full time and the whole thing, and they don't have, you know, 4 hours a week. You'll get this done in 6 months. I'm like, fuck that. And so that like burned me out, you know, Lady Phoenix, like I burned myself out, and that was a year ago. And so now here I am still, you know, business is not going well. I do maybe 3-4 rides a month, and the other cities are completely dead too. And you know, so I'm sitting here like I can't talk like this in front of my boys. I usually don't talk like this at all. I don't have anyone to talk to. I wouldn't want to talk to anyone like this. But today it just isn't going away today. And I wasn't going to come on and do a live, but I thought maybe I just needed to get it out. And I knew that you guys would understand. And I'm just like, I just don't know what to do. I literally just don't know what to do. The only thing that I know I can do is like take care of people. I know that every day I get up, I feed the dogs, I do the thing, I take care of my kids, and that's what I'm good at. If I had to get up, get dressed, go to work, or be somewhere in a certain time to do that same job, I wouldn't be good at it, right? I work right from home in my life, and that's just a life that I didn't have, being a wife and a mom and having a good breadwinner husband and doing like a traditional life. I'm more of like a traditional type of woman as far as roles are concerned, and I'm really, really good at it. But, you can't really be good at anything when you're on the verge, like just barely making it, My son has been home from college for 2 months now, and he hasn't gone outside except to walk his dog. And I have to tell him to do that. He hasn't gone outside. His skin is like gray. My boys are just sleeping in, they're staying up late. I've lost, like, it's just, I don't even know what to do anymore. I just feel like we're just existing. We're just barely getting by, barely existing. And we really love each other and have respect for each other and all that stuff, but I can't take them anywhere to do anything. I can't take them up the mountain to go have fun up in the mountains at the lake. I can't, tubing, cycling, snowboarding, I can't afford any of it. So we just sit here in my apartment that I'm not even paying for. And people can say, well, why don't you just go get a job? Go get a job. Well, even people with jobs aren't making it, And I know how to get a job. I can go get basically any, like, face-to-face job where, I can get any job where I'm engaging with the public. But it doesn't last long because I can't maintain that. And, so it's just like, and I love paying bills. I love paying bills when I have money. I love paying bills because it means I've got money to pay bills. And, I've got a car, a beautiful car, specifically to drive a bunch of people, and we're just not busy. And I can handle it now, but I was just so burned out that I wasn't able to take a lot of the rides. And because like that winter I drove in every single blizzard in the Sierra Nevada mountains. People are afraid to do that. It's scary, and so it would give me an adrenaline rush. I'm like, yeah, I love it. And then I just completely burned myself out. And I don't know. It's like when my younger son is 18, when he's an adult, I feel like I can just disappear into the wilderness and not have to worry about all this, because one of the things that makes me really mad about it all is I didn't choose this fucking society and this life, and maybe I did on an energetic level, but all this where everybody's got to like earn your keep on Earth. No other species does that because they live in harmony with nature. And I'm like that. It's like, and I've said it a couple times, like, I don't want to do, I just want to be. That process of doing things is horrible. I hate it. I just want to be. And it's not like, oh, well, you're lazy. It's just that I don't fit in on this energetic level, I'm halfway between spirit and halfway here. And I can't just leave because I've got my kids, I've got my mom, everybody else I don't care about, but it would really hurt them if I left. And I just don't know what to do, my mom's like, well, maybe you're gonna have to come back here to Florida. And I'm like, literally, I would rather die. I would just rather die than do that. I just want my own life. There's like, oh, well, lots of women in my position, they would go get a rich husband, right? But that's like literally not something I can do. When I was younger, there were lots of good guys interested in me, and I just wasn't interested in the right people and whatever. So whatever about all of that. I just feel stupid that I can't, you know, put on my shoulder pad suit and go act like a man out and get a career, and it just, I don't know what to do. And so today I was just feeling so awful. I ate, I drank my coffee, I'm drinking some tea and magnesium, and I'm just super overwhelmed by the fact that I'm not making it. I'm not making it. And I'm really good at, you know, masking and acting happy, because generally I am, and I love coming on with you guys. I really do. You know, in my perfect world, I would live in like a tribe or a village, and that's what we would do in the mornings, get together and chat and have coffee or whatever. And it's very uplifting for me, and it helps pull me out, and that's how I'm able just to not really think about it, you know? And I know there's people who like monetize their YouTube channels really quick and stuff like that. And that is, you know, I guess the overarching point of this channel and my other channel and everything is eventually to, you know, lead to an income. I'm like, what can I provide of value to people? And I've got some digital courses that I could sell, and they're on my Patreon, and I don't have anybody on my Patreon, so it's just sitting there. And, you know, knowing how to promote all that stuff and sales funnels and all this other garbage. It's like, you know, so that I'm like, well, I'll continue getting these certificates, maybe in AI. I can get a, because I did some AI. I know how to program chatbots and stuff. And so I go on and I'm like, well, I'll just get back into these courses and try to get a job as an AI chatbot programmer. So I look at the chatbot programmer jobs, same thing, like you need so much experience and all this other garbage. Chatbots are so easy. Like you should have a 2-hour workshop and teach people how to do chatbots and hire those people for minimum wage, because it's so easy. But maybe it's just easy for me. That's the easy part for me. But getting out there and doing it is another. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I'll do this. Then I'm like, no, I've got a better idea. I should just, you know, learn an AI app that's already out there, or a combination of them, and then help other people with whatever I can do with that, you know. But then again, it's like marketing and sales, and how am I going to, it's just super overwhelming. And I literally just don't know what to do. I just don't know what in the fuck to do. And I'll break it down. Okay, I have almost no income at this point. I think my best month with the car service was probably like, I don't even know, like $6,000 or something like that, because I've got other drivers, and then they get half, I get half, and then whatever my rides are. So maybe like $6,000. My overhead every month is like $5,000, right? My rent is 20, basically, let's just say it's 23 something. My car is $719. My insurance is $300 and something. I mean, and that's just those 3 bills. You know, the electric bill this month will probably be $300. I mean, it's just, what the fuck, you know? I just literally want to just live in my car out in the middle of nowhere with my dogs and my cat, you know? My boys don't want to do that, obviously. And that's fine. So I've got like 4 more years, and then it's just like, I don't know. And then people, you know, it's like, I guess someone could look at me and be like, well, that's all you think you deserve. No, I don't think I deserve this society. I don't think I deserve this as like punishment. I don't have that program. Like, I'm a different operating system. I just don't have that program. I've got the trad wife program. I've got the mom program, the wife program, the, you know, and I never ever cry and talk like this, so thanks, you guys. I'm sure I'll feel better later. Not that it'll fix anything, but don't tell anybody I did this either, please. Just don't tell anyone. Uh, so I went on a dating app that's like for normal people, which I don't think there are any, a few days ago, and it's like just one of the normal dating apps that people use, right? And it's like gross, gross, yuck, yuck, gross, gross, yuck, yuck. Of course, a bunch of people want to meet me and everything. I haven't subscribed, so I can't read their messages, and I'm not gonna subscribe. And there was like one guy that I thought, well, that would be a good match. He's got an off-grid homestead up on the hillside somewhere right near here. And everything he said was basically like everything that I alluded to in my profile. And I know he hasn't even seen my profile yet. And I'm like, well, if he emails me, if he texts me on there, then I'll subscribe so that I can communicate with him. There's like one person that seems like it might be a decent fit for me. And it's like, that's so stupid. I don't even want to meet him. I don't want to do that, and I don't know. I don't want to do that. I feel like I have to, though. It's stupid. It's like there's so many different weird programs kind of running simultaneously in my brain. Like, well, just go find a husband. There's guys out there who want to be taken care of the way I do it. That's woman who needs a man to take care of her like man. It's not rocket science. But our society has destroyed that completely, to where I wasn't even raised thinking along those lines. When I was little, I wrote a long letter to my kids that I knew I would have eventually. And it's weird because I could see them, and they're my kids. They were far apart in age. One was a girl and one was a boy. It was an older boy and a younger girl, which if you actually understood, you'd know that that is a fit. And I wrote them a letter because I had this concept that I would die when they were still young. And I kind of knew, I had this concept of what my future would be like with my kids and stuff. And you know what? It dawned on me years later. It's like it never included a husband. I don't know why. And, I'm not like, oh, I just want to sit around and eat bonbons and watch soap operas and be taken care of. That's not it at all. I'm the type of woman that understands that to have a whole life, it's like the yin and yang, it takes two people to have the right kind of life, a husband and a wife, and to have good kids that can grow up and thrive. You need that mommy at home doing the mommy thing, and the daddy to go out and do the daddy thing. And that didn't happen. I'm now almost 54 years old. My kids are 14 and 20. My mom met my stepdad, who's been my best dad, when I was 19. And thank God, because unfortunately, and to my great guilt, he's taken care of me. So this is what you don't know. This is what you don't see. When I do my other lives and I'm funny and fun and happy, I am. That's really me. But this is the part that I don't share. I've never shared with anyone ever. Never in my life. And I'm not premenstrual. I'm probably perimenopause, but there's really no real reason for me to feel like this today of all days. It's just random. But watching this guy's story, and I don't even know that there's anything specific about his story. It was just the fact that it kind of opened up that emotional portal, and I'm able to get it all out, but it doesn't fix the problem. And so I don't know. And like yesterday after our live, man, I crashed and burned and slept for 4 hours. It's like I fell out of the sky, you know. I don't know if I have any glasses in here to read your comments. I did live in my car for a month a couple of years ago. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. If I can stop crying, I'll go back inside and then I'll be able to read your comments. It's just like, you know, I'm so ashamed. I'm so ashamed. You know, and a lot of the time, like, oh, I'm so ashamed, so I'm going to change this thing. I don't even know how to change this. That's all I've been doing my whole adulthood, is trying to change it. You know, the product line that I love, that I use, called Arbonne, it is the best freaking product line. And I started using it when I was 34 years old, and it's an MLM, and I was like, this stuff is amazing. Everybody needs to know about this. Well, by the time it was like 2015, I'd quit and started again. And it was 2015, and I was actually doing pretty well. I mean, I still wasn't really making any money from it. It takes a while for you to build and make some money from it, but I was on the right path, and my team was doing almost $20,000 a month. And that would have landed me in a good spot if I would just kept going. But I told you the story of how I was married for 4 months. Well, that's right when that happened. So that kind of knocked me off. And then a few months later, I got that back and I was able to get it back up to that. But then the woman who I was like underneath, she turned out to be a dirty bird. And I couldn't do another thing because it was benefiting her and it was benefiting like the people. Like, she was doing sneaky shit and it was not cool. And so I just couldn't. And so I stopped and let that go. And I thought, well, I'll just pick it up again. And I never did. And, you know, the whole point of those things is you just have to never stop. But see, the economy, you know, the economy will take it out. Like, it's still, you still have to buy shampoo and toothpaste and deodorant and all that stuff, right? But a lot of the times people go from like something that they really love to something that they don't really love, but it's more affordable. And so I don't even know what would have been happening for the past few years in that, you know, I don't know. But it's like, I feel like every minute I have a different idea of what to do to get myself out of this situation. But it's just like a revolving door. It's all the same ideas and the same reasons why it would or wouldn't work and the same everything. You know, I really, really thought that last year when I got that cybersecurity certificate, that was going to change everything, because don't you know how much those people make? And I'm like, well, you know, now it's been a year. If I just would have been doing something, even if it was interning, I'd have that year of experience. So now I'm beating myself up about that. It's a consistency problem, I think, because I've watched other people, and I realized this, you know, 10 years ago, people that I had seen on Facebook just barely starting their little businesses or whatever. Well, then they became very, whatever they were doing became very lucrative for them. They just stuck to it. That's all it took. And it's like, that's, I think, part of my big problem is that inconsistency. You know, in my home, I'm consistently inconsistent, but nothing falls apart because of the way that I do it. You know, like the week before my period, my house becomes very messy. And then a few days after my period, I'm like, I can see again, and I go around and clean everything up, and because I'm pretty minimal, it's not hard to do. And it's just like, you know, there's part of me, I know, and it sounds so stupid to me when I say it, and that's why I just bury it, but it's like, I know, and I can't even say it because it sounds so stupid. But it's natural. It's like, I know there's a good guy out there who wants a good woman. But at this point in my life, you know, people have had such long lives with so much, I don't even, like, trust anybody not to be creepy and have, like, literal skeletons in their closet. You know? Oh, you mean that every time you go to work, you're actually going to the shipping container where you have taken women hostage and they're your sex slaves? Oh, why didn't I know that before we got married or whatever? You know, this really happens. This really happens to people. They're married to someone for 30 years before they know their husband is or wife is a fucking crazy, you know, serial killer or likes to sleep in a coffin in the basement. And that's why I say to people, you know, because I know we get young kids on here, marry young and stay married, no matter what. There is no one better out there. It is not easier. Going and looking for someone, no. You need to you need to marry that girl. And this is why. And if you love her, you'll marry her, and, you know, the two of you work together and make it happen. You know, and you don't want to see her at 54 years old in my position, do you? You know, and it's not like, I don't blame, like, the way I was raised or anything like that. We were all raised that way. We were all fed a line of crap. Remember, Murphy Brown? Remember when Murphy Brown, who had a great career, by the way, she wasn't hurting financially, and she decided she wanted to have a baby, and so then she's a single mom. She was the first, like, single mom on TV. And Dan Quayle was like, this is not a good precedent. This is going to destroy our country and blah, blah, blah. And everybody was like, what an idiot. Guess what? He was right. And, you know, yeah, she had a career. She was a career woman. She had her own money. Good for her. That's not me. That's not me. And I didn't mean to be a single mom. But you guys have heard me say, you know, I'm just not a good picker. I really admire women who can be with a man that they are not particularly attracted to, but they respect and love him. You know, and I know that even in, like, arranged marriages, you know, they grow and learn to love one another because they're doing their jobs, they're doing their roles, and they grow to love one another. Watch Fiddler on the Roof. They talk about it, you know? That's, you know, I mean, that's just one example. And my concept in my head has always been like Little House on the Prairie. I was like, that I can do. I would even dress like that, you know? I'd actually probably have a Renaissance dress with the bustier part, because, you know, I'm no dummy. I know what my husband wants. Right? All my exes would take me back today, but it's like I was abused and used. So I wouldn't take them back, but they would take me back in a heartbeat because I was a really good girlfriend. I'm an excellent girlfriend. But I've allowed people to pick me, and those people were predators. Now, I'm not saying that I didn't have my difficult moments. I sure did. You know, if you guys aren't aware, I was finally diagnosed with premenstrual dysphoric disorder at 45 years old. And because I had irregular periods pretty much my whole life, I never knew that because I could never track it and see that there's a correlation between me freaking out and my periods. It was like I would freak out and then like the next day start my period and be like, oh, but it didn't occur to me to make a point and follow my moods and everything like that, right? And so now I'm 54 years old, still having regular periods, except maybe once or twice a year, which happened anyway. So, I mean, I could go on like this forever. I don't know if I'm in perimenopause or not. Maybe I'll never go through menopause. Maybe I should just keep having babies. I really liked the middle 3 months of being pregnant. Just the middle, though. Everything else is not fun. And I wouldn't want to keep having babies because I just want to disappear into the wilderness, you guys, and I am not even kidding. I've actually had that fantasy since I was in my 20s. I just wanted to take my dogs, get a horse, pack up the horse, and just ride off into the sunset. I really could do that. I really, really could live just out in there, out in the wilderness, you know? When my kids were little and we lived in Big Bear, we would go out into the forest and build lean-tos and different structures and stuff like that. And I just love that. Actually, when I was married to my stupid ex-husband, which I don't even say that, I don't consider that, I actually say I haven't ever been married a lot of the time because it didn't really count. It's kind of like when I lost my virginity and he had such a tiny little one. I'm like, I don't think that counted because I've had tampons bigger than that. Sorry. I was in a band many years ago, and although I'm a vocalist, they wouldn't let me sing because they had a lead vocalist, and she was a Scorpio, and she was extremely jealous. So I was just eye candy, you know. And we were on tour, and something was falling apart in my life. And the drummer was the manager of our band. He was awesome, and we were talking like this, and I'm crying but cracking jokes too. And he said, that's one thing I really, really love about you is that even if life is hard, you still manage to find the humor. It's like, comedy and tragedy are flip sides of the same coin. Take a tragedy and flip it over, and somehow I can see the humorous parts. It doesn't mean that the tragedy is funny, but you could still sometimes see the humor in times like that. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I haven't read your comments. I can't see anything past my tears. But thank you for listening to me. I could probably never do this in front of a person sitting in front of me. I could never do that. It's just like something in me. It's like if you look at me, I stop crying. It's the weirdest thing. I've always been like that. And most of the time, like, unfortunately, I have been in some pretty gnarly arguments in relationships, and I hate that, but I'll defend myself. And that's part of the reason. It's like when you're with someone that you shouldn't be with, a lot of the times you have to defend yourself. I've been with people that like to gaslight me, or my boys or something like that. And so at times I felt like I had to defend myself. And if I'm in an argument, like I don't cry, but I spit. Like my mouth will get all full of spit. I guess that's what they say when you're spitting mad. Instead of the tears coming out my eyes, it goes into my mouth and then I have to spit. There was this one time, I was roofied once, and I realized something was not right when I was driving home, and it was like literally not even a 5-minute drive from my place to my home. Thank God I got there, because there was someone else that was with me, and I think he was also roofied, some other woman's husband, and we were together, and he actually left and crashed the car. And there was someone else with us who I think roofied us, and I think that was his like his entertainment was roofing people. And I let it be known, and everybody thought I was crazy and I was awful, but I don't care, because I think they'll probably figure out. And this was years ago. So I go home, and I don't remember much of what happened, but my boyfriend, that was the guy that was 18 years younger than me. He was wonderful. I woke up the next day, and he's kind of glaring at me, and I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, you don't remember, do you? I'm like, remember what? So he told me, and he said I was spitting. Like I spit on the wall and stuff. And it was so weird because, yeah, I really didn't remember. And being roofied sucks. It took me 3 days to recover. And I said things to him that he, I had said before, but it was like this time I'm like crying and yelling. So he came down and got me out of the car. And I guess I was saying things like, I don't know, something about our age difference and my kids and, raising the kids and stuff, and how it wasn't, gonna be forever, and just all kinds of whatever, just blah bullshit. But it was like stuff that he already knew was on my mind, but I think I really hurt him. Obviously, that would hurt anybody. Now later I came to find out that he was an alcoholic, drug abusing kleptomaniac. I found a backpack of his that had stuff in it that was missing from our house. So, what the fuck? And when I basically, broke up with him, kicked him out, when I was cleaning up, I looked under the bed, which I don't do because my back is broken. So it's not like I'm down on the floor looking under the bed. And there was like 30 beer cans and a bottle of Jack Daniels or whatever. So when I was out working or whatever, I would go do karaoke, and he didn't like that a lot of the time. So I just go do it by myself. I didn't blame him. Who wants to hear a bunch of old people singing the Beach Boys? Nobody. But it was my outlet as a singer. So he was just sitting at home, just drinking and gaming, and, he would go to his friend's house and drop acid or whatever. I know now. I didn't know that then. But, I knew it. There was something in me that knew. But, yeah, spitting mad. I don't usually cry, I spit. But thanks for being here today, you guys. I really appreciate it. I think this isn't my normal live. I probably will never do this again. I probably won't make this one public. Well, I kind of have to make it public, but I don't have to. Maybe I'll make it unlisted. Anyway. It's just, I feel stupid. I feel like a baby. I feel like, oh, you're such a victim. And I think that's why I normally don't cry, because I immediately tell myself, like, what the fuck are you crying about? Pull yourself together and go make it happen. There's so many people that are so much worse off than you. You got everything going for you. Blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, like I said, I could go out, I could get a man today. I could get a job today. But I've been down that road. It's like in the Matrix, when they pick up Neo and they're in the car under the bridge and it's raining and he's about to get out. And Trinity's like, Neo, you've been down this road before. You know where it ends. And that's why I just don't do it. It's like I'll dabble and look and be like, well, I'll finish my AI certificate with IBM, or I'll just, go find a husband or whatever. But then it's like I snap out of it. It's like, that's fucking stupid. And the thing is, the business line is ringing right now. 75% of the calls I get now are spam calls. Hello, ma'am. May I speak with the business owner? May I speak with the business owner? Is this the business owner? You guys, I really appreciate your comments. I will read them. I will read them. Is it a full moon? I see something happening, Mark. You can handle that by all means. I just see the same person spamming. Feel free to handle that or don't. Doesn't matter to me at this point. And really what I would do is just get a little trailer, hitch it up to the car, and or even just like get something different to live in, RV or something like that, and just go. And I'm not kidding. That is not an exaggeration at all. I'm just waiting to be able to do that. My kids and I lived in a fifth wheeler for about a year and a half or something like that, and I loved it. But it got to the point where my older son was just too tall. He didn't even fit in it anymore. And long story short, it was basically my trailer was stuck up on a mountaintop and we had to bail out of there. And by the time I could go back and get it, it had molded. It was an incredibly harsh winter and then an incredibly wet spring, and I couldn't get to it. I couldn't move it. I couldn't do anything, so it molded. Luckily, I was able to sell it for what I bought it for. And that was back when you could buy a nice fifth wheel trailer for $3,000. And then it was like literally the next year, 2 years later, COVID. And then all of a sudden trailers are like, $12,000 for a 20-year-old trailer. Please. So, and it's, like where I am right now, there's no nature for me to go and hang out in. And that's part of it. Like, part of my sanity is being in nature. I mean, that's like not even just part, it's a huge part of my sanity is being able to walk outside, lay on the ground, just lay on the ground. Remember that guy I told you about I went on 5 dates with? Well, I ended up going to his house one time, and this is before I realized he didn't know my name. And beautiful home, lots and lots of land. This guy is, really talented, very eccentric, really annoying, actually, very also narcissistic. But when I got to his place, his part of his backyard had this beautiful green grass next to his pool. And I just saw that grass and went right on out there and just laid down in it. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But he was really annoying. Didn't know my name. After 5 dates, you don't know my name? And it was just like lunch dates, It's not like we were, going out for drinks or anything like that. And there was nothing like intimate or physical or anything like that at all. I'm not like looking for someone to fuck. at all, unless it's like my man. That's a different story. But you know, I've had a whole life worth of really good and really bad sex with the right and the wrong people and the whole thing. And now it's like, you know, whatever about that, you know, it's only going to work, and it only ever has worked for a very long time if I'm in love with someone, you know. And so I'm good, whatever. I just don't know what to do. And I know I'm not going to solve the world's problems right here, right now, but I would just like to solve my own problems, I guess. You know, and on top of that, I don't even remember the last time I showered. I think it was, you know, when I decided, okay, when the lawn crew comes, I don't like listening to the lawn crew outside, and so that's a perfect time to go and take a shower or take a bath. And then the lawn crew came this week, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm sure that I've bathed in the past couple days, but maybe it was a week. And then I didn't get in the shower when the lawn crew came, and so here I still am. And I'm not a stinky person, so it's not like, oh, wow, I smell, I really need to take a shower. It's just like, you know, and I'm one of those people, I can smell myself, but I just don't emit. You know, I've never been like an oily, sweaty, dirty person or anything like that, so that's lucky, because I would probably just sit around in my own filth. You know, and it's like, oh, I should take a bath. Oh, I should take a shower. Oh, da 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 da. And then yesterday I was taking my dog out, and there's people are really stupid and weird with their dogs here. Like, they'll let their dog stand there and mad dog my dog. Like, what do you think they're gonna do? Like, hey, how's it going? Hey, how you doing? Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Hey, Tony. Oh no, hey, what's your name? Tony. Hey, fuck you, Tony. You know what I mean? So this dog is standing there, mad dogging my dog, and I've got my cat standing right next to me, and my dog's pooping, my cat is there. And this dog's staring at us, and so my dog is like, and because I wasn't prepared for this, and he hasn't done that in a while, I really wasn't ready. Thank God I managed to grab a hold of his leash, because I really didn't have it in my hand the right way. And then he ripped open my foot, so then I'm bleeding all over the place. And the guy was like, sorry. Like, he knew. He stopped and let his dog at the end of the leash. That is not what you do, dumbass. Keep walking, you fucker. Sorry, guys. And then someone let their little dog shit on the sidewalk outside of my door, and it's been there for like 3 days, and the groundskeepers aren't cleaning it up. The person who left it there isn't cleaning it up. It's these like little tiny fucking turds. People think when they have little dogs that their dog turds don't count. It's like people who flick their cigarette butts on the ground. Like it's gonna just disappear magically. So, you know. And then they've got these huge lavender bushes all overgrown past the sidewalks, like over the sidewalks. It's literally an ADA violation. And so it's like I'm kind of trapped to where we can walk, because do you know these lavender bushes, how many bees are in those bushes? You know, one wrong move, like I walk by them and I'm like, I love you, bees, I love you, bees, I love you, bees, I love you, bees. Like, so they feel good, love, energy. And it's just like, things like that makes me just want to be away from people. It's like, what is wrong with you people? You know, and they could look at me and be like, what's wrong with you? Rightfully so. And then I read that females on the autistic spectrum have disdain for people. Like, it's just kind of our normal feeling of disdain for people. And we can love people and have empathy very deeply, but then also we have disdain for people. And I was like, oh my God, what the flip? And then I was listening or reading another study And they were basically talking about how, and I wish I probably shared it on my other page in the community section, but it's like, kind of like all these things I'm feeling, it's like stereotypical autistic female. Yay. But what do I do about it? You know, our brains in scans behave male. Female autistics have a very thicker than average cortex in their brain. And then there's a time period in which that like dissolves and thins dramatically. And it only happens with autistic females, not autistic males, which is really interesting and weird. And there's all these different things they're talking about. And it's like, can I fix it though? Is there a vitamin deficiency? Is there a hormone I need to take? Is there, I mean, and I do have a dark sense of humor, so forgive me if I say, is there a bullet I can put in my head? And I really haven't talked about it much, although I do have videos. Right before I was diagnosed with premenstrual dysphoric disorder, it got really, really bad where I was full on suicidal for a few months in a row. And it's literally like being possessed. And that's when, for a couple of years, I got on the pharma medications because I'm absolutely opposed to pharma medications. But I no longer had the luxury of trying to deal with myself holistically because I have kids. And so I did the pharma meds, and that helped a bit. And I was able to realize and recognize that I just had surrounded myself by toxic people by letting people choose me. Because I'm like a person like, let's all work together. Let's all work together. We can accomplish such great things. And then I do my part, and they're like, thanks. And they don't do their part. And that's recently one of the things I've learned. One of the telltale signs of being with someone who has an antisocial personality disorder, whether it's narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic, they make a bunch of promises and they don't fulfill any of them. If you are in a relationship and you think, what has this person done to add to my life lately? And it's nothing, they're a narcissist or one of those antisocials. And they prey on people who are like us, who are like, oh, baby, let me take care of you, baby. I'll handle that, honey. And they're like, cool. Yeah, I'll get right on top of that thing. And we'll do this and we'll do this. And they string you along until you finally realize they're full of shit. Or you might not even realize, but they gaslight you and twist it into something until you finally have to just leave. And then you look back and you're like, oh, I was definitely giving and they weren't. You know, and my stepdad has said a lot in life, there are givers and there are takers. You know, and I feel really, really guilty because I feel like from him, I've just taken and taken and taken. And so when we moved there a few years ago, I was like, how can we help you? What can we do for you? We are here to help. And there were just a handful of times where he would engage my boys. He would employ their help. You know, and it was like, come on, let them help you. So they got up on, my older son got up on the roof and did some leaf blowing and stuff like that and some other stuff. But it was like just so very little. It's like, look, we're trying to give. We're trying to help, you know? My mom just has accumulated a lot of different things that she wanted to sell and get rid of and antiques and stuff like that. And it became very overwhelming and her flow got interrupted. And I totally understand that. So I'm like, okay, let's do this together. Let's make this happen together. We want to help. And like nothing really got done. And so then we ended up moving back out here because I hate Florida. You can't enjoy outside even in November. It's just bugs. Bugs and bugs and bugs and bugs. I need to be outside in nature. You know, and here it's like, where can I go? It's like, it's all desert. I need my own place. I need my own land. Is this what people do in therapy? How much do I owe you? Send me a bill. It's not as hot out here as I thought it would be. I guess I should go back inside. And then on top of that, I walked out of the house with my shirt inside out. Okay, I'm better. I can go on living in denial. Hi, Joey. Look out, doggy. I'm gonna step on your foot. I'm okay. Marry young and stay married. You didn't miss anything. Keep digging. My hair is filthy. God, I've been doing this for over an hour. I've been venting and crying. That's nice. Oh, Jonathan, thank you. You know, it's not my thing, but I guess you got to get it out sometimes, right? I'll have to like scroll back through later and there's a lot of chats. Oh my gosh. Oh. It must be a full moon. Alexa, when is the full moon?
Full moon will start on July 21st, 2024 at 3:17 a.m. and it will end on July 21st.
It's not a full moon.
3:17 p.m.
It's just me, I guess. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you so much. Yeah, Shadow gets really upset when I'm upset. Shadow gets upset when I'm upset. So does Buddy, but Shadow more so, I think. Yeah, it's not for a little while. So, I mean, this doesn't exactly make sense, but gotta let it out sometimes, I suppose. Like, I can't even remember the last time. When I was living in my car for a month, I made a bunch of videos, and I think that was the last time I did anything like this, but I've never posted any of them.
Holy.
Yeah, my dogs know. It's very, yeah, they get upset by that. What's worse is that even after this, I still don't have a solution. Keeps digging. You'll just have to go back and watch the stream, because I've been talking about it for an hour now, unfortunately, and it's just life. Okay. Oh, okay, cool. Cool, Jonathan. I didn't, of course, read any of the texts, but yeah, I still haven't been in my email. I need to go in there and dig through and see, because I just get so much spam. I know, right? Yeah, I'll be all right. I just, um, did my husband cheat on me? My husband can't cheat on me because I don't consider it cheating, and I don't have a husband. If I had a husband who wanted to be with other people, I would know it and be like, okay, well, just, do you, boo-boo. I guess. I mean, I'm guessing. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, she tried to call me while I was live streaming, which was kind of weird, but yeah, the reason is that I can't figure out how to be independent. But see, yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm like suffering through childhood traumas or anything like that. I just want to be independent. It's me, it's my actions, my behaviors. It's not like, oh, I'm depressed and I can't move. Oh, and maybe I am. I don't know. Just do it. Just do what? I know. Thanks, Tushar. It would be really hard for me too. I'm like you. Like, when I see someone crying, I cry. When I hear violin music, it's like the movies and the parts that are like sentimental or emotional, and they do the whole violin thing. I immediately start crying, and I'm like, oh my God, it's the music. One of my other favorite comedies is called Bedazzled, and it's Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley, and she's the devil. And he has all these different lives where he's different people, basically, these scenarios. And one of them is so funny. He's sitting on the beach with this woman that he's in love with, and he's like too sensitive. So everything makes him cry. If you've seen that movie, it's hilarious. Find Me a Rich Man. Yeah. Well, it's like it's the paralysis is from like how to fix it. Like I was saying, it's like I go online, I'm like, okay, well, I'll just whatever. I'll do this, I'll do that. And it's like, they're all the things I've already tried to do. But maybe I just haven't been consistent enough. And no, I've not been on Tinder. Isn't Tinder just for hookups? Thank you so much, Carl. Thank you. I'm in decent health so far. I need to get some dental work done, though, so I stay in good health and don't kill my heart. Yeah, baby steps. And that's the thing, like at this point, I feel like baby steps are going to be too slow. I need to do something right away. Okay, thank you, Cowboy. I will check my email. Yeah, don't know what to do to change. Yeah, I can't cry. And exactly, that emotional release is important. But unfortunately, it like, oh, well, okay, so when I hear that music and I cry like that, yeah. But it's not like this, where it's cathartic. But this, in a sense, isn't cathartic because then it's still, I don't have any solutions. It's not just like I'm stressed out and need to cry and then just I'm fine. It's, okay, Art, bye. It's, like there's no solution. Hi, Vikrant. I'm okay. I have an angel face. That's sweet. You know, and on my other channel, and on my Patreon, I did my visit to the dentist, you know, because autistic people, we just don't go to the dentist and then it's too late and then we end up with heart disease and dentures. Well, I've been lucky because one of my special interests is my dental health, right? But there's some things you can't avoid. Thank you, Vikrant. Yeah, this is me. I use my shirt for Kleenex. Yeah, dentist. Nobody likes the dentist. Yeah, thanks, Tushar. I'm sure I'll be back to normal pretty soon. Okay, that sounds good, Cowboy. Thank you. I'll take a look at that. Yeah, Jonathan. It is, right? It's so easy. And you know, and then I realized like I live in fear every moment that something bad is going to happen. Yeah. So it's been a year since I got my cybersecurity certificate. So if it's something like that, I need to brush up on that stuff. And like I said, I'm very, you know, I would be totally entry level, but I find it interesting. I think AI is more interesting, and I like building chat bots and stuff like that. But anything right now that I could do from home, you know, and I like to nerd out. I love. I think cybersecurity analyst would be good for me because I'm an analyst. That's my personality type is analyst. You know, I once spent like hours and hours on Google Earth looking at Beijing from Google Earth, analyzing Beijing. Beijing, their schools, their hospitals, their police stations, their government offices all have blue roofs. And outside of the schoolyard is painted blue. Did you know that? Well, now you do. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you, Tushar. Thank you. I have so much potential. I'm like bursting with potential. And that's what's so frustrating about it is, you know, I really thought by 27, I would be completely independently wealthy by 27 years old. Yeah, I know, Emily, but I'm 54. Ooh, Russia. Heck yeah. That's right. And also, they have these huge, like, car parks in certain areas that are blue. And they have a huge poultry factory, blue. The people that that would survive a DEW attack would be children, police, doctors and nurses, and the poultry factory, and the government offices. Direct energy weapon. Yeah. Yep. And then I looked at, that was Beijing, I think. And then I looked at, was it Hong Kong? No, that was Hong Kong. And then I looked at Beijing. I think that's how it went. And then in whichever one is smaller, I looked at that one too, and I saw the similar patterns. But you know what else? Right next to Disney, they've got Disneyland on an island. On the island with Disney, and I noticed this because they were also painted blue, were army barracks, like where the military lives, like on the same property as Disney, also painted blue, or blue tin roofs. My favorite thing to do, I guess because of the adrenaline rush, is to work undercover. I did some of that before my kids were born, and you know, different towns that I lived in, and especially in Los Angeles because I was working for the sheriff's union and was able to work with Homeland Security, FBI, and you know, SWAT, multi-agency. I went out and did intel, basically gathered information so they knew where to go, where they were, what they had, that kind of stuff. But now that I have kids, that's too dangerous. And also now that I understand they use people like me who think that's fun as pawns in their game, and then you end up being the shooter of a Las Vegas concert, you know, that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't do that again, but that's fun for me. That would be like the most fun for me. Yeah, I know there's 98-year-olds kicking ass. What are they doing to kick ass, though? Tell me that, Emily. What are they doing to kick ass? Oh, that's so nice. Tushar. Yeah, I know, right? The real world out there is not so bueno. But Tushar, really, if you didn't catch the video, look back, because it really all kind of underscores what I was telling you, I think yesterday or the day before, which is, you know, marry young and stay married. You know, when you're in your 20s and 30s, it's like, meh, it doesn't really matter. But then 30, you know, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Thank you, Jaden. Oh, look, I've got filters. Ooh, 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 ooh. Noir. Bubbles. How's that one? Can you see that? Okay, right? And see, I don't necessarily mind it so much, but I mean, the thought of growing old alone, because I have kids, you know. So presumably I'll be able to at least hang out with them or whatever. Oh, yeah. Is the hurricane passed by? Thank you, Cowboy. I really appreciate that very, very sincerely. And I'll take a look at that in my emails and check that out. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For even just thinking about me and trying to help. I really hope so, Tushar. I really, really do. I think it'll be one of the best decisions you'll ever make in your life. That's sweet. Hi, Vivi. Oh, really? It wasn't everything it was cracked up to be? I was watching some of the lives. Someone had like a camera in a parking lot and it was just raining. I guess it's better to be safe than sorry, right? Emily, you You didn't say anything to offend me. I'm just wondering, like, what are they doing to, you're talking about 90 whatever year old people. Hi, Katie. 90 whatever year old people thriving and kicking ass. Well, what are they doing? I want to know what they're doing. That's all. Yeah, it's really hot. It's been, well over 100 in the middle of the day. Keeps digging, not kicking butt, huh? Yeah. And that's the thing, you guys that are young and you think you have forever to do the stuff you want to do. I mean, in theory, that's true, but guess what happens when you hit your 40s? You get fucking tired in the middle of the day and have to take a nap. I mean, I don't have to as much as I used to. I don't really know what was going on. I like had to take a nap every single day, but when you get older, you just don't really. Oh, yeah, you're disabled. I get it. When you're older, you just don't have the same drive and energy. At least I sure don't. And a lot of people that I've heard of, they just sure don't. It's like, I wish I had the energy I did when I was younger. And it might not be because of our ages necessarily. It's just because of having the shit beat out of us for decades and you get burned out. So, whatever you think you want to do in life, literally do it in your 20s and 30s and 40s. You have to just do it while you're young. And if you think that you're going to like wait and look for a partner or that you've got time to find the best person, that's a fantasy. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work like that. You don't get tired. Yeah, for a while there. Well, because I was getting up so early in the morning. Hey, who left the sugar out? Corey? It's your lifestyle. If I had your lifestyle or whatever I perceive your lifestyle to be, kind of like, you know, land and space and peace, tranquility, I would feel great. I mean, it would take me but one instant to be like, woohoo, yeah. I'm not carrying like a lot of baggage from my past. I really thought, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm gonna childhood trauma. Whatever. The dogs are fine. You know what is scarier? I can think of something way scarier than that. Hi, money. A nice old lady doing YouTube and she seems super happy. She's probably living on Social Security and maybe she had money. I don't know. But yeah, there's lots of people doing YouTube and that's great. But I'm just talking about like in real life applications for someone like me. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Yeah, so if you have something good, keep it. Don't wait around for something better. There's nothing better. If you have something good, you know. Yeah, see, I was getting up really, really super early and going to bed really, really super early. And it's like my schedule, my sleep schedule changes. You know, I was walking the dogs every morning and then the time changed. It got really, really hot. And now we haven't been on any walks in a few weeks. Like one walk, I think. It's hard for me to keep a routine together because things change. Bed by 11. You sleep from 11 to 4? Oh my God. Wish me luck. Yeah. Yeah. Do it right. You know, and between now and then and forevermore, like learn how to do it right. You know, even if it's as simple as love languages. Learn about the love languages. And what that says is some people recognize love as a certain thing that might be different from other people. If you know your partner's love language, then you can speak that to them. And then you know your love language and they can speak that to you. And it's not words, it's just like how you show up for them. But if you have a certain love language and that's the way you give love, but they receive love differently, like they don't recognize something that you're doing as love because they've got this other concept in their mind, they're going to think you don't really love them. So learning how someone knows, like you could ask your girlfriend, how do you know I love you? And she'll tell you. Well, you say this, you do that, you blah, blah, blah. Those are her love languages. And she could ask you the same, or you could tell her the same thing. I know you love me when you blah, 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 blah. We're really happy for you and we all want to come to your wedding. Cowboy, that's me too. It's like, hop on or don't. Bye. No, I'm pretty evenly spread across the board. Like, if it's love, I recognize it. You know? If it's not love, I don't know. You guys, I think I should get off of here now. I think I need to just, yesterday after that live, I crashed and burned, slept for like 4 hours, felt really discombobulated for the rest of the day after I woke up, ripped my foot open. I'm kind of afraid to take a shower or a bath because my foot's ripped open and it will hurt. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's a good thing I can't drink because this would be a time when I'm like, you know what? Shots. I'm just doing shots today. You know, go out somewhere in nature and get married. It doesn't have to be a big, don't spend money on a wedding. Spend money on, like, buy a house or something, you know? Don't spend money on a wedding. Get her a beautiful ring and spend money on a house. Like, surprise her with a home. That would be the way to go. Oh my God. I will. I like, hey, I will learn how to run an excavator today. I would love that. Impulse control problems, though. I don't know. I might be like, woo! No, you don't understand. So my daddy he is, but he was a master mechanic and taught me everything I know. You know, so I know standard and metric. I love wrenching on things. I don't mind getting dirty. When I, break loose like the torque or something like that and get bloody knuckles, I love that. I'm like, ha ha ha. I love it. I mean, I love working on, I just love machinery, heavy machinery, all that kind of stuff, power tools. I just dig it. That's my jam. Anyway. I mean, it couldn't be that hard to run an excavator, could it? That is not, that's not, oh my God, like, no. Oh, yeah. Well, and so here's the quick story, right? My dad, being a master mechanic and welder, and he had a business that he ran for many years, and he had these little box trucks he would send out to all the Kroger stores and wherever, because their lift gates break all the time, so they have to send someone out to fix them. And he always told me when I was little, you know, if you ever want to learn how to weld, put on your Levi's and come out to the garage. And so I told him, I was like maybe 19 or something like that. And I'm like, hey, I want to learn how to weld. And he's like, okay, well, come Monday morning and we'll start. So I get there Monday morning. He's like, okay, well, the first thing you need to learn how to do is the books, the accounting, payables, receivables. What he heard me say is, I want to learn how to take over the business. So I never learned how to weld. I mean, I've seen Flash dance. I knew I could get a job as a welder, right? No, I don't make money on YouTube. Yeah, Indian's wedding is like a festival. I totally get it. But these days, it just kind of seems like the best thing to do is have an intimate, beautiful wedding in nature that's very inexpensive and spend your money building your life, starting your life correctly. Take that same money and invest it. Oh, I've seen the coolest videos with, you know, the excavator people who like rescue a kitten or something like that. Oh my God, I'm like, that's talent right there. Yeah. So I really appreciate you guys hearing me out for the past hour and a half. I'm happy to return the favor anytime. I think I should get off now so my head doesn't explode. Yeah, thank you. Keeps digging. I think I'll be okay. Thank you, Tushar. Love you too, honey. You're so sweet. Yeah, one of the things that was concerning me about doing a career in cybersecurity is like, you know, am I going to be able to like my vision, my sight, my vision, you know, and yeah, my vision and my sight is fine. I'm like, that's a lot of looking at the computer. Can I do that? I'm like, yeah, I think I could do that because I've been doing it. But the excavator operator sounds way more fun. But I would want like I want to tunnel underground. I want to have an underground home. I saw this guy who built a home in like outside of actually in Sacramento years, many years ago. Old thing. And it was, he came here to this country to start an orange grove and then realized that the dirt he bought was just not not plantable. And so he started digging down and down and down and down under this horrible earth and found good earth. Well, it was so hot, he just started tunneling and digging underground. And he's got this whole entire house underground, but it doesn't feel like you're underground because he planted his trees underground, but they've got these huge openings. So it's like you're down 20 feet, but you still have sky and trees. And so it just looks like you're outside. You can't really tell that you're underground, but it's like 10, 20 degrees cooler. That was really cool. Okay, well, oh, cool. That sounds cool. Yeah, and this guy did it with like you know, mules and carts to haul out the dirt and rocks and stuff like that. It's so interesting. I'll have to post it in the community section, this video. It's so cool. And the trees are still alive today, and he grafted trees so they grew different types of fruit. Fascinating. Yeah, super, super cool. But yeah, I'm all for it. I like heavy machinery. You know, and this is all stuff I should have been doing when I was 20. I don't know what I was doing. I was just fucking around. I just was aimless. I didn't know what to do. I thought I had an idea of what to do. But you can't just have an idea of what you want to do. You have to actually have a plan with action steps. So I actually, last night, I was like, okay, I'm going to look for these emails, and then I got distracted. But I'll go check my emails right now. And I appreciate you guys, and I'm going to get off now. So have a good day. Thanks for listening to me whine about my life. It'll never happen again. I guarantee that. Bye. 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 Did I already do this joke? Do you know what this is? Microwave. It's my only joke. I've got like 3 jokes. Ah, cool.